So today marked the reopening of Shanghai Disneyland, which has sent hope around the world to all Disney fanatics that other parks may be able to open up soon. So we're going to look into this. Also, we're going to look at STK have announced they'll be opening up at Disney Springs alongside Wine Bar George on the 20th of May. And also Disney are about to lose out on £1.4 billion in profits from the park closures. So let's get right into it. Thousands of visitors streamed into Shanghai Disneyland on Monday for the first time in 3 months as the Chinese park began to open since the pandemic started. That put all Magic Kingdoms across the world to standstill. While Mickey Mouse joined familiar Disney characters welcoming the crowds, the Shanghai experience will not be as it was. Instead of parades, fireworks and all theatre expeditions, mandatory masks, temperature screens and social distancing for visitors and employees is now in place. Disney's $5.5 billion for China flagship park is the first of the 6 resorts around the world to reopen after the pandemic, and that has now killed more than 280,000 people globally. Through consumer service, businesses around the world are in turmoil. The reopening provides a glimpse at how Disney can recover from the closure that has stripped $1.4 billion from the company's profits. But the limited scope of reopening Shanghai underlines the scale of the task. While it welcomed more than 10 million guests in the first year after opening in 2016, the park will now restrict visitors' numbers to 20% of its daily capacity, or about 16,000 people, far below the initial request of the Chinese government. As well as scrapping parades and fireworks, replacing the latter with an evening light projection show, Disney has shut interactive children play areas and indoor live theatres. Visitors holding annual passes are being asked to reserve an entry time and a day in advance for booking their trip to Shanghai Disneyland, as you cannot just turn up. Monday's guests were mostly parents with children or young couples, were greeted by waving park staff as they walked in, having been asked to show a green health code on their mobile phones before being allowed in. All wore masks. Markers have also been added to the areas where people may congregate, such as shops and entertainment areas, to tell visitors where and where not to stand, while audio announcements regularly reminded guests to maintain their social distances, and visitors on the rides are asked to sit well apart. STK in Disney Springs is among a handful of third-party restaurants that is going to be reopening on the 20th of May, with others being announced as Wine Bar George. The restaurant is now available to book a table via Open Table, with the option of additional seating options, which denotes the emphasis of outdoor seating. As with all restaurants currently reopening as part of Phase 1, all indoor seating is limited to 25%. All other guests must be seated outside, with tables having at least 6 feet space between them. Thankfully, STK at Disney Springs has plenty of outdoor seating with both upstairs and downstairs patio areas. Walt Disney investors got a taste of how bad the pandemic will be for the world's largest entertainment company. The crisis cost Disney as much as $1.4 billion in lost profits in the last quarter. The company said with $1 billion coming from the shutting of theme parks alone from across the world, but has stated all parts of the business is being hit. It's only going to get worse. Disney has already lost a full month of business profits from the parks being cut, and also the shutdown of movie theatres, the loss of live sports on flagship ESPN and cable networks. Analysts predict that the company will lose hundreds of millions of dollars this period, with revenue in free fall. So guys, with all the closures around the world and us not being able to get to the parks, I want to ask you the question of what is your favourite Disney ride and why? So please leave a comment down below and let us know, and we can all have a discussion about who and why we think that is. Please like and subscribe to this video. I hope you're keeping well and social distancing and staying at home where you possibly can, and I'll see you all in the next video. See you later.